Welcome here to a very special edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as we have the opportunity to feature Jimmy Boeheim, who obviously got to spend some time with the Syracuse Orange this season, coming from Cornell. And it is an honor and a privilege to bring this to you exclusively from Pizza Man Pub on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. Jimmy, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
And Jimmy, I mean, you and I got to talk with you coming in and making this decision, and then through the season, and then obviously now here after the season. What has this year done for you now that you've actually gotten to live something that was a dream at one point and then became a reality?
It's done so much for me in so many ways. Like you said, it definitely was like living out a dream. I can't say the year went exactly how I thought or how our team thought it would go. Obviously, it was a pretty disappointing year overall, and still trying to kind of cope with that. It's been tough, but I'm just as we get further and further away, I'm trying to look more at the positives, being able to play with family, being able to play for the program that I grew up. That really was my childhood, and not just my direct family, but this whole team. We were such a close group. It really was a family. The other coaches, to the support staff, to the rest of the guys on the team. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to go through this with. So, definitely grateful for all of that, and I think I'll appreciate it even more as we get further away, and as I kind of do a better job of getting over the season and some of the disappointments that came with it.
Cornell didn't offer an extra year. You could have applied for that and that opportunity to come back. What ultimately has led to you closing this chapter and moving forward with an opportunity to try and play elsewhere?
I think I'm just ready. I think I just kind of knew that, especially I thought that before the year, but by the end of the year, I just felt ready. I think I've already done 5 years of college. Obviously I was only able to play 4 of those years, but after those 5 years, starting to get a little bit older, a little more mature. I just look back on my years with a lot of gratitude and really thankful for my time. And it's been great. I wouldn't change it for anything, but it just feels like it's the right time to move on to that next step, and I'm excited for it.
Signing with Roc Nation, you and your brother both doing that. Bring me into what the plan is moving forward for you.
Yeah, the guys over at Roc Nation have been great. Two of them, our two main guys, were managers at Syracuse, so before they moved on. So there's that family aspect there. They've been great for us through NIL and stuff like that. But we're looking to, me and Buddy are gonna head to New York City in a few weeks here, and they've got a full training regiment ready for us there, and really excited for that. In the meantime, obviously going to be working out here at Syracuse, and obviously it's tough to beat these resources here, but excited to move to New York too, for a month or two or however long it is, and just see what happens from there. I'm very open-minded. See if I can, what happens this summer, and then see where I end up after that. But yeah, like I said, open-minded and just excited for what's to come.
Why do you think you would be an asset to a team out there, be it here in the country or overseas?
Yeah, I mean, I just think I'm a guy who, knows how to play. I'm going to be a good teammate at all times. I'm going to give you everything I have every time, every single second that I'm on the court. And, I think I've got a pretty unique skill set. I'm shooting the ball a lot better. And I think that's still getting better day by day. I think like I said, I know how to play. I can, get guys shots. I'm going to play hard. And, yeah, it's just a combination of all that stuff and stuff I've shown on the court. Being able to play inside and out. Kind of, if I have a bigger guy on me, I can drive. If it's a smaller guy, go inside, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, I think what I'm most proud of is just, I'm going to be a good teammate, and I'm going to play hard, and I'm going to work hard. I'm going to give you everything I have. And I think at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for.
What is it about your game that you think, if you were playing devil's advocate and somebody would say, we need this, this, and this to be better, or we're looking at this, or, we'd love for you to tell us about at this point in the season why this happened. What would you say are those areas that you try to key in on? Because if you know your weaknesses better than anybody else, then obviously you know how somebody might try to exploit them. And obviously you can learn to get better in those areas. So what are those areas in your opinion as you train and as you get prepared for what's next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working. I'm not satisfied with any area of my game. You can't be if you want to be a really good player. So it's working on everything, but um, a big emphasis of mine has been getting my shot more consistent, and I think I've made big strides there, especially this past year at Syracuse, and I'm going to continue to do that. I think that's an area I really have to focus on. Also, stuff like defense, just working on my movement, stuff like that. I think those are kind of my main keys going into this off season.
Speaking here with Jimmy Boeheim on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora special presented by Pizza Man Pub. Jimmy, to stick with that for a second, there's our community that I've grown up in and you have grown up in as well. We've all been through a lot all over the world. And, local places like Pizza Man have continued to thrive and help the community. What does it mean to you to have local businesses like Pizza Man to have gotten through these 2 years together and to, build up this community, this blue collar community that we have?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think there's a lot of great small businesses in the city, and um, it's important to support them for sure, and they do a great job of supporting us. So yeah.
We look at where you can go from here, and to see where you can go from here, we look back on where you've come from. What can you say, hindsight 2020, you've taken away from coming up through high school to choosing Cornell to eventually coming to Syracuse? When you look back, although it's very, right, it's just a couple steps behind you when we think about Syracuse, but when you look back here, what do you see from this trail and what are you most thankful for?
Yeah, I think, I once in a while I look back and I'm looking where I am now, and I'm just like, who would have thought? I think so. I'm just thankful the journey I went on. I'm thankful for all the great support and great people I've had in my life that have helped me get to this point. Because at the end of the day, it started. No one thought I could play D1, and then no one thought I could be good at D1, and then you can't play high major, and then here we are now. So, um, I think I'm just proud of the journey, proud of how far I can and how far I came and how many people I kind of proved wrong. So that's kind of the stuff that stuck with me. And I think I'm in that situation again where I'm gonna have to do that at the next level. So I'm excited for that again. But yeah, just very thankful. I've met some of my best friends in life along this journey from Cornell to Syracuse, and like I said, I've just had so much just tremendous support that I'm so grateful for.
It seems like it's the Boeheim factor, right? Your dad is constantly challenged on what he can do better, and people are always talking. You've been challenged, and people are always talking. Buddy's been challenged, and him and I have talked about the fact that people are always talking. This family seems to get a lot of criticism, and at the same time, you seem to respond very well to it. What is the Boeheim factor? How would you define it?
Yeah, I mean, you said there's criticism there, but I also think we get a tremendous amount of support. So I think it's kind of trying to look at the support more so than the negative comments or whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, just remember there's so many more of those supporters than there are the flip side. And I mean, I've said it before, but if LeBron James and Steph Curry, if they have haters, then I think I can deal with them. Those are the best basketball players in the world. So everyone's got them. You just have to figure out a way to make it fuel you. You can't let it take too much up in your mind. I mean, at the end of the day, trying to not see that stuff, but inevitably you do see it sometimes, and it's just trying to brush it aside. If anything, like I said, let it fuel you. And for me, it was just kind of trusting that the people in my locker room supported me and believed in me, and I believed in myself. And if you've got all that, then you know who cares what someone's saying on Twitter or whatever it may be at the end of the day.
You have all those moments. You speak on like the positives. You have all of those moments and those embraces with your brother Buddy on the court at the Dome when you were not wearing the same jersey. To be able to embrace each other this season so many times wearing the same jersey, bring me through what that felt like to, walk up to him after a game, Cornell and Syracuse, give him a hug and say, love you, bro, and we'll catch you next time, to going to the same locker room this whole year.
Yeah, it was great. To be able to celebrate with him after wins and just be out there on the court with him. And I think that what I took even almost more so than that is this time we were able to spend off the court. The last 5 years we've lived in different cities and haven't been able to spend much time together. But I think this year our relationship really grew just from being able to spend more time with each other off the court. And obviously the on-court stuff just adds a whole nother layer, and it's been great. Obviously, it's been fun to play with him just because he's a brother, and also just because he's one of the best players in the country. So that helps too. But a lot of those moments were really special, and we'll both remember him for forever.
He said he loved the fact that growing up, you never let him win. Bring me into those moments and why maybe that's helped him become a better player by the fact that you didn't go easy on him.
I mean, yeah, we were just both so competitive growing up. Got it from our dad. And I was never, yeah, we just play, and I was never gonna let him win because I wanted to win just as bad as he did or anyone else did. So we'd play in our whatever it was, we'd compete in anything we did, but the main battles happened in our playroom on our little Tykes hoop. And we just go at it for hours. It ended in a fight every single time. And I won most of, if not all, those games. But those, we look back on those and laugh and smile. And I don't know. I'm thankful that I was able to help him in his journey, and he helped me a lot in my journey later on. I think when I was like a sophomore in high school, maybe and he was a little younger, I saw how hard he started working. And I was like, geez, like I'm here sitting on the couch. I'm not really doing anything, and my little brother's in the gym for 3 hours. And I'm like, all right, something's got to change. Like if I want this. So I think I got my work ethic from him in a lot of ways. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely been a great relationship for both of us as we've matured through this process.
We see, all that is this Boeheim world from the outside looking in. I've had time to spend with you as well as your brother. I've had time to sit with your father in his office and talk with him and get to actually just see person to person. What are your favorite memories in your family that have nothing to do with basketball?
Oh man, there's so many. So many. Just I think of like family trips, and think of holidays with the family. Just sitting in the car, and my dad might put on Bruce Springsteen. He starts singing a little bit. Just funny stuff like that. Just playing games, playing heads up. I don't know. There's just um, so many that don't involve basketball at all. Um, it's hard to even pick a couple. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for better parents, better siblings. Through it all, they've been amazing.
You, obviously hear so much about your dad, and we don't hear enough about your mom, about Julie, and all she's done an incredible job with the Jim and Julie Foundation, obviously, and is at these games, is extremely supportive, is out in the community. What can you say we should know about your mom?
I mean, she's without a doubt the best person I know. I think you could probably talk to other people that know her and they might agree, but I mean, she's so selfless. She's always trying to help others. You see it through the foundation, but it's also the stuff you don't see. Just she's always trying to help out whoever she can, um, from our friends to whoever it may be. She's always trying to help people. She'll do whatever for anyone, especially obviously her kids. I mean, she does so much for all of us. If I text her and I'm like, can you make me, French toast in the morning, whatever it is, I'll run home and she'll have it ready. It's just stuff like that at a moment's notice. She's willing to drop everything especially for us, but really for anyone at the end of the day. So it's just her selflessness and her kindness, and generosity. I think she's amazing.
Growing up Boeheim, define that for me.
I mean, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, that means that's why Syracuse basketball was our childhood, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Just so many great memories around the program, around all the players that I looked up to, traveling, going to the Olympics. I mean, I couldn't really ask for much more, honestly. It was everything.
To have that unique life and to see it. I mean, I remember, and I'm not that old. I mean, I'm 36 years old, but I remember you guys coming up and just you see these two kids just run by you when you're on press row, and it was you guys.
Yeah.
So from running around the dome, around the court, to running around on the court, how crazy has that been for you to live in that moment of being in the dome as a kid, being in the dome as an adult? and it's the same court, but this time you were on it.
It's just surreal. That's the only way I can really put it. It's hard to even put it into words. Never really thought it would be me. As we grew up, you could kind of see Buddy would probably end up there, but my plan was always the Ivies, and my plan was always to finish out at Cornell, and um, never really knew I'd be able to get to a point in my career and my skill level where I'd be able to play at Syracuse. And not only that, but that the opportunity would come given, COVID and the craziness that happened that year, and then having another year, and just all that happened. I mean, it's just surreal. That's the only way I can put it.
Love for the jump hook, that baby hook that you had. We talked about it off the air, that mechanically, fundamentally, from me watching the game my entire life and broadcasting for over 18 years, I told you off the air that I really felt that you understood the people that you were going up against, that you studied enough to kind of know when to take your shots and when to do different things. Bring me into that. And if I am correct, that you did a lot of film study in knowing when a guy was going to make certain moves and whatnot, because it seemed that you gauged more often than not very well how many dribbles to take and when to go up with that shot.
Yeah, I think you look at the athleticism in the ACC. Think of guys like Paolo Banchero, and could go on and on. But when you go up against guys like that, obviously, I don't have the edge athletically against them, so I gotta try to outsmart them a little bit, maybe, or just figure out crafty ways to kind of be able to get in the lane and score, make something happen. So, it's just trying to get in the lane and then using shot fakes, using crafty finishes, and stuff like that to score, because you can't just go straight up against them. They're going to pin it against the backboard. So it's just trying to be crafty. That's kind of stuff I've learned over my whole life, from my time at Cornell to here to even before that. So it's just trying to be crafty and figure out, ways to impact the game that when you're at a disadvantage athletically.
Greatest moment from your season that you got to play in Syracuse Orange and Blue?
I think I'd have to go to the Indiana game. I mean, that was one of the crazier games I've ever seen, much less to be a part of it. At the Dome, great crowd, and me and Buddy both had pretty good performances, and so did the rest of the guys. Obviously, Joe played great that game, Cole, Jesse, etc. But Frank making those free throws, I mean, that was just such a fun game, up and down, and the emotion when the final buzzer hit and we won, it was just such a great feeling. So I'd go Indiana.
And before I let you go, your brother and you have definitely taken advantage of the name, image, and likeness. When we look around the country, to me, people that have been really right off the bat about it and then being creative with it, I commend, Buddy and you for making it not only a part of your life and to kind of test the waters, but having fun with it and making it interesting. What have you liked from name, image, and likeness? And what would be your advice to a student athlete looking at doing it themselves?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. I think, first and foremost, just it gave us another opportunity and a platform to interact with the fans at a different level than we'd ever been able to do before. So that's probably my biggest takeaway that I really enjoyed. But being able to work with companies that you like, being able to just stuff like that, I think was the stuff I most enjoyed. And I mean, like you said, I think the advice I would give is just to have fun with it. Don't let it, I think one thing for me is I always remember that I was here to play basketball, and whatever came with that, great. You don't want to, let the NIL stuff affect basketball, because that's ultimately why you're here, and you're ultimately here probably to try to get to the next level. So you don't want to let NIL stuff get caught up with that, but you want to have fun with it and let it kind of be supplementary, I guess, to what you're doing on the court.
Final note here. What is your why? Not just on the court, but in general, Jimmy, as you step forward to your next chapter, what is your why? What are you fighting for?
I mean, I'm just having fun with it. Honestly, I love basketball. I mean, I'm going to play until I don't have fun anymore. But, like I said, I've always enjoyed kind of trying to prove people wrong. That's always going to be there, though. So I think it's really just that I just enjoy the game. I love the relationships I formed with it. I'm a competitor. It's the best way I can compete. And it's just basketball has been my life more or less. So it's just fun for me, like I said, and competitive. I don't know. I think those are probably my main whys.
That coming from Jimmy Boeheim here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, exclusively brought to you from Pizza Man Pub. Jimmy, it has been awesome to be able to tell the story of you coming in. Been awesome to see you all the way through. I can honestly tell you to your face that I was not the person that was out there being a naysayer. I actually had a lot of fun getting to see you and Buddy do something that brothers in 0.00001% of the world will probably ever do. So I know that you have been very constructively critical of yourself this season and you wanted to do more. And I obviously got to see you embrace your brother at the ACC tournament after that Duke game. But I'm not telling you this just to tell you this. What you did coming here, doing what you wanted to do, no matter what anybody else said, living from the inside out and not the outside in, you've been a beacon of hope to a lot of people who believe in things that other people thought they couldn't do. I love getting to see you and Buddy play. I love the fact that your father got to be there with you, because I don't think people truly understand that, yeah, he won a championship in 03, but there's nothing like that moment that you guys all got to have, you know, especially at the ACC tournament when it was all coming to an end. So I honestly, the way that you played in that game against Duke, there's something to be said about love for family, love for your brother, love for your extended family on the team that goes well beyond basketball. So I hope you keep in touch. I hope you're not a stranger. And no matter what the record showed, I'm happy that we got to see Jimmy Boeheim in orange and blue.
Oh man, I really appreciate all that. It means a ton. Thank you for all the support. You know, it's been great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. So keep in touch, keep rocking, and I look forward to good news. Okay.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
All right, you too.